Farmers in Bangladesh grow food on water. Yes, you heard that right. Food growing on floating rafts. In a country where floods are part of life, people have found an extraordinary way to keep farming even when the land disappears beneath the water. This practice has been around for generations, but today it's gaining more attention as the world looks for solutions to climate change. Bangladesh is a land of rivers and waters that flow through villages and fields. The Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers all flow through it, creating one of the largest deltas on Earth. This rich geography gives the country fertile soil, but it also brings constant flooding. Every year, monsoon rains swell the rivers and cover huge parts of the countryside. Fields vanish underwater, homes are surrounded, and for months at a time, traditional farming becomes impossible. For poor farmers who depend on every harvest to feed their families, this is not just an inconvenience, it is a matter of survival. And so, generations ago, they turned to the water itself for a solution. For many decades, people in Bangladesh have been building what are now known as floating farms. Locally, they're sometimes called floating gardens. The process begins with water hyacinth, an invasive plant that clogs rivers and ponds. Instead of treating it as a problem, farmers gather it up and use it as the base for their rafts. Layer by layer, they build a floating bed, sometimes stretching several meters long. On top, they add compost and organic matter, turning it into fertile soil. Into this unusual garden, they plant vegetables, spinach, cucumbers, gourds, eggplants, chilies, and more. The beauty of this system is simple. The gardens rise and fall with the water. No matter how high the floodwaters reach, the crops remain safe, floating above the flood. If you travel to parts of southern Bangladesh, especially districts like Barisal and Pirojpur, you'll see families working on these floating fields. Men and women paddle out in small boats to tend their crops. Children often help plant seedlings or harvest vegetables. The floating gardens are not just tiny backyard experiments, they are lifelines. A single raft can provide enough vegetables to feed a family and even leave extra to sell in the market. In areas where land has been swallowed by rivers or kept underwater for months, these rafts mean the difference between hunger and survival. Experts estimate thousands of families across southern Bangladesh now depend on these floating farms. And because water hyacinth and compost are natural materials, the farms are also eco-friendly. They use little to no chemical fertilizer, making them healthier for both people and the environment. Today, Bangladesh faces a growing challenge. Rising sea levels and stronger storms caused by climate change are threatening the country even more than before. Some areas that once flooded only in the rainy season are now underwater for most of the year. In this reality, floating farms are more than just a clever tradition, they are a symbol of resilience. They show how communities can adapt creatively to survive. International organizations and researchers have even started studying this method as a possible solution for other flood-prone parts of the world. Behind every floating garden is a story of determination. Imagine children eating fresh spinach that grew not in a field, but on water. These are not just farms, they are stories of people refusing to be defeated by their environment. Where most would see only water and loss, Bangladeshis see opportunity. Families grow vegetables, earn an income and feed their children, all from rafts that float on rivers and floodwaters. For thousands of people, floating farms mean food, income and survival. But they are also a reminder that Bangladeshis face challenges head-on and turn them into strength through creative thinking. And that is why the world is starting to take notice. Because when the water rises, Bangladesh doesn't just fight the flood, it learns to float with it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.